Hi, this is the video on how to use GeoGebra to explore um, the centroid. Actually, it's not going to be this link. Let me delete that. So what we're going to do is I want to kind of walk you through it how to use GeoGebra to, um, construct some things and figure out this concept of a centroid. So I'm literally going to walk you through an example of all of these steps that you have to do tonight. Okay, so firstly, we have to access GeoGebra. Okay, and then we're going to do these steps. So here's how you access GeoGebra. You open up your Internet Explorer, okay, and you go to www.geogebra.org, and you press enter, and this screen pops up, and then you want to click download. So I want to click on download, and then you get this screen. And we're actually going to use the applet start. So I'm going to click on applet start. Now this may take a little bit of time on your computer. Just give it some time. Don't open anything up. Don't X anything out. Just give it some time to open up on your computer. Okay. So once you're here, which may take you longer than it took on my computer, the first thing we're going to do is this is space for objects, and we don't really need that. So we're going to take your mouse and make sure it has the double arrow on this line, and just kind of hold down the mouse and move this to the left. Okay. Secondly, we don't need the axis. So I'm gonna click on view, and I'm gonna see that. Notice how axis is checked. I'm just gonna click on it, which unchecks it. So now the axis is gone. All right, so the first step in what I asked you to do is to make a triangle. So that's what we're gonna do. So notice this is the polygon tool. I'm gonna click on it. Okay. And I get a crosshair cursor, if you notice. Okay. As long as you're in this space here, the big rectangle, you're going to get a crosshair. If you click, it creates a point. Okay. And notice if you I just clicked once. I'm not holding down the mouse button. I'm just kind of dragging my mouse back and forth. I can put a new point somewhere else by clicking. So I'm going to click, click, and I get B. And then I can drag and find out where the other point is going to be. So maybe I'll make it here. I'll click C. Now notice line segment AB was formed and line segment BC was formed. But line segment CA is still kind of missing. So I need to complete the polygon. See how you can make it a quadrilateral. I want to still make it a triangle. So I'm going to go up here and notice that I went from a crosshair to just a regular mouse. And it says point A. I'm going to click. There's my click. And now I made my triangle. That's the easiest way to make a triangle. Then it says, next step is in GeoGebra, we're going to use the midpoint tool to construct the midpoints of all the sides of the triangle. So to do this, we go to Tools up here, and I look at my menu, and I find Point Tools. And in that menu, there are a lot of things, but one of the things that is there is midpoint or center. So I'm going to go down, and I'm going to click on midpoint or center. And now I get my crosshair tool again, my crosshair mouse. And I'm going to go to this side, for example, and notice how it went from being brown to kind of bolded brown. If I click on it, it makes the midpoint. Okay? And then the directions say to construct the midpoints of all sides of the triangle. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it here, click, and I'm going to do it here, click. Now, the next step says in GeoGebra, it says build a line segment going from a vertex of the triangle to the opposite midpoint. And this segment is called a median. So now I'm going to show you how to construct the median. So I need to go to my line segment tool, which if you notice, this looks like a line between 2 points, but that's a line. So if I just do this, I want to be doing a line through 2 points. I don't want that. So I'm going to click, if you highlight, there's a little red triangle, which is a pull down menu. So I'm going to click that. And notice I get options here. And one of the second option is a segment between 2 points. So I can click that. And now my tool is a segment between 2 points. So let's go back to the directions. They want us to build a line segment going from a vertex of the triangle to the opposite midpoint. So for example, here's a vertex A. I want to click on it. There's my click. And I want a vertex to the opposite point. Now notice, when I get to E, the crosshair cursor will go away and I'll get an arrow. Okay? And I can click. That is a median. Now let's say I made a mistake. Let's say I went point A and I went like this. Well, that's not a median because G is not the midpoint. And let's say you made a mistake. Well, you can undo that mistake. So just kind of like in Microsoft Word, you go to Edit and you click Undo. And now it's gone. All right. And it's the next step says all triangles have 3 medians. It says in GeoGebra, build all 3 medians of your triangle. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to build all 3 medians in your triangle. So I'm still on my tool. Okay. The expression for this is once a tool, always a tool. You pick your tool, and that's your tool until you change it. So I'm going to construct the other 2 medians. So I'm going to go from a vertex to the opposite midpoint. And notice how it kind of locks in on F. Okay. Boop. And again, if you messed up, if you went B and went like this, that's not hooking up to the midpoint. Just press undo. And it undoes it. And then I'm going to construct the other median, like so. Okay. And something cool happens between all 3 medians. So something really neat happens between this, this, and this. Something happens that perhaps you didn't expect. And I'm asking you what happens between all 3 medians. Okay. And there's one more thing I suppose I should add to this. In number 5, it says the point found in number 4 is called the centroid of the triangle. Okay. And I'm going to add to this using GeoGebra, mark off the centroid. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I'm actually glad I did this during the videos going through the instructions. I want to mark this point off. Notice it doesn't have a letter. So I'm going to go to midpoint or center and click that little red arrow. And I'm going to do new point. But I want to come over here so that if you notice now, all 3 segments kind of bolded. And I can click and get my point G. Okay. So now it says, in GeoGebra, using the measuring tool, measure all of the segments of all the medians. So I'm going to do that. Tools. I'm going to go to Tools. Okay. And I'm going to find Measurement, just here. And I'm going to find Distance or Length. I want to measure the distance. So for example, here's how you do this. Now I have my crosshair. Let's say I want to get the distance from A to G. I'm going to click on A. Click. I'm going to click on G. Click. And eventually, the distance will appear. On your computer, this shouldn't take so long. Okay. AG is 4.07. And then G, it says to measure all the segments of all the medians. So here's G, another segment to E is another segment, and that's 2.03. And your job is going to be measure all the segments. So you're going to do C to G, G to D. You're going to do F to G, and G to B. And then your job is to say, is there a relationship between the larger segment of the median and the smaller segment of the same median? So for example, is there a relationship perhaps between this number, the larger one, and this number, the smaller one on the same median? All right. And here's one other thing you can do. You can play around with the vertices of this triangle. So I can move this up or down. Okay. In fact, I can really play around with this. I can get this to like 5.6 or so, like that. And perhaps there's a relationship between these numbers. And perhaps there's a relationship between the other ones. And then number 6, I want you to draw the picture. So you would draw this out with all the numbers. So you should have segments for here and here. Oh, sorry, lengths for here and here, here and here, and here and here by the end. And that's it.